One day, the Prophet ﷺ was going up the minbar, and the Sahaba noticed something very strange. As the hadith says, رقى المنبر فلما رقى الدرجة الأولى قال آمين ثم رقى الثانية فقال آمين ثم رقى الثالثة فقال آمين. So the Prophet took 3 steps ﷺ, and each step he takes he says Ameen, and he said it 3 times in total. So the Sahaba tell him فقالوا يا رسول الله سمعناك تقول آمين 3 مرات, as if to say, we heard you say Ameen, but we didn't hear a dua. What did you say Ameen for? So that perhaps we can say Ameen with you, so we can understand. Did we mishear something? So the Prophet ﷺ replied, شقي عبد أدرك رمضان فانسلخ منه ولم يغفر له فقلت آمين. Now I want you to focus just on the first reason that the Prophet ﷺ says Ameen, because that has to do with Ramadan in the end. Why would I start the video with a hadith that is more on the scary side, when my goal in this video inshaAllah is to make you more excited for Ramadan? Because after all, Jibreel والسلام, tells the Prophet والسلام, shaqiya abdun, as in shaqiya meaning wretched or miserable, is the slave who, when they adraka Ramadan, they reach Ramadan, and Ramadan passes, that they are not forgiven by Allah. And this word shaqiya, or someone that is shaqi, is the word that Allah uses in the Quran and other hadith to describe the person that is going to be resurrected in the afterlife or in the day of judgment miserable, as in his fate is not good. And that's what makes the hadith very scary. And the opposite of it would be sa'id, happy, right? They are happy in a sense that their fate is going to be good, inshallah. But wallahi, when you think about the hadith just for 5 seconds, it's the exact opposite from scary. It's the biggest good news that Allah can give you about Ramadan. Essentially, this hadith is saying that for you to go through Ramadan and not be forgiven by Allah means that you have reached a state that is so impressively low. Like, it's actually hard to be that bad, just to put it frankly. That if you actually reach the state of how bad you can be in Ramadan, that you deserve to be shaqi, you deserve to be miserable and wretched. Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu narrated that the Prophet والسلام, said the famous hadith, من صام رمضانا إيمانا واحتسابا غفر له ما تقدم من ذنبه. That the one who fasts Ramadan with faith, iman, and ihtisaban, seeking reward from Allah, will have all his past sins forgiven. And this perfectly aligns with the previous hadith, because in the end, the bare minimum you have to do in Ramadan, besides all of your other obligatory prayers, is to fast Ramadan, right? So the person in the previous hadith who doesn't have his sins forgiven, he must be either intentionally not fasting days in Ramadan, which is such a bad level to reach, or that he is fasting, let's say, for reasons that are not to do with Allah, right? Without any ikhlas. He's doing it to get compliments from people, to be said, oh, you're doing this, this, and that. So that's a level that is very low to reach. One of the blessings and you can say mercies of Ramadan is that it's a lot more doable when you know that everyone or all of the 2 billion Muslims, I hope, are fasting it, right? So that psychologically becomes easier for you to follow. So it really is very doable for us to fast Ramadan, obviously, aside from people who have any health conditions that cannot fast with a genuine reason. So if you do just that, the bare minimum, to fast Ramadan, imanan, faith that Allah told you to fast Ramadan, and so you're doing it, wahtisaban, that you are doing it seeking rewards from Allah, you want in a sense the compliment from Allah and no one else, then that is what it takes for you to have all your past sins forgiven. And Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu also narrates that the Prophet ﷺ said, إذ كان أول ليلة من شهر رمضان صفدت الشياطين ومردت الجن وغلقت أبواب النار فلم يفتح منها باب الجنة فَلَمْ يُغْلَقْ مِنْهَا بَابٌ. That in the first night of Ramadan, or starting from the first night, the shayateen, the devils, and the rebellious jinn, the bad of the jinn, they are chained up, and that the gates of hellfire are closed, and they are locked, and the gates of Jannah are unlocked, and they are in fact wide open. Now, before continuing the hadith, let's just think about something. Now, Allah or the Prophet is saying that all of the gates of Jannah are open, and the shayateen and the bad of the jinn, they are locked up, they're chained up. This is showing you the potential, or Allah welcoming you to do so much more good in Ramadan, that there's no better opportunity than Ramadan. So, yes, the first two hadith I shared with you show you that you can get away or even get so much by just doing the bare minimum, which is fasting, iman and wahtisaban, right? With iman and seeking rewards from Allah. Now, before continuing the hadith, let's just pause for a second. Allah or the Prophet is telling us that the gates of Jannah are all open, and the shayateen and the bad of the jinn are all locked up, they're all chained up. So this is already showing you that the potential for doing so much more good in Ramadan is so high. The ceiling is so high. So yes, the first two hadith I shared with you, they show you that you can get away or even get a lot out of doing the bare minimum. Yes, that is true. But why would we set the limit to just that? When we can gain so much more from Ramadan in terms of deeds, and also so much more in transforming ourselves during Ramadan and after Ramadan. And when the gates of Jannah are open, ينادي مناد يا باغي الخير أقبل ويا باغي الشر أقصر وَلِلَّهِ عُتَقَاءُ مِنَ النَّارِ وَذَلِكَ كُلَّ لَيْلَةٍ. And all of the gates of Jannah are open and unlocked. And someone cries out or yells out, "O you who desires to do good, come forward. And you who desires what is bad and evil, then aqsir, do less, or just refrain, just like basically we don't even want you here." وَلِلَّهِ عُتَقَاء. That there are people who Allah is in a sense cherry picking. He's picking them to be freed from the hellfire. Kulla layla, every night. Allah does this every night of Ramadan. He picks people that are freed from the hellfire. You cannot enter hellfire. I picked you. There you go. You're not going to hellfire. I swear, reading this hadith and remembering it all the time just gives me goosebumps from the mercy of Allah. I can't believe Allah doesn't have to do any of this for us. And I think that's one of the biggest mercies, that Allah, being who He is, doesn't have to do any of this for us, yet He is doing it. Allahu Akbar. And you might be confused, Baghi al-Shar, someone that desires evil. Why would someone desire evil? And that's kind of the point of this statement in the hadith. When you read it, it makes you go, of course I don't want that, I'm gonna go with the other option. I'm going to accept this invite or this welcoming, and I will step forward and do more good. Baghi al-khair. I want more khair. I couldn't be more excited for Ramadan, and I ask Allah by the time of making this video to make us reach Ramadan. And there's so much more I haven't even talked about, but I'll see you in the next one, inshaAllah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.